This one is just gonna be us chatting, chit-chatting, nothing specific. I'm not sure why that started recording, but um yeah, I'm just gonna hang out for a bit, do some paperwork while we're here, uh talk about the interesting stuff of actually having my video copied, which it's always an interesting thing when you have one of your own videos literally hijacked. uh I think that I think was funny, just to see that. And it was funny because it was just off of a little search. I didn't even do anything specific. I was just checking. I just decided to check what I was doing, literally, just to see what everybody else had out there, what other information, and what do you know? Yo, what's up, Dash? Can you hear me well? Is my mic working? Because I did a couple of changes to it, so let me know if the mic is working good. Um, but yeah, that's something very interesting. What'd you get, man? What'd you get? All right, hit me with the news. Hit me with the news. I'm hoping it was good news. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's hear the good news. Let's hear the good news. So whenever somebody starts off with like, you won't believe the I'm hoping it's good news, because sometimes it can be bad. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it can be bad when you hear that. But the fact that you was like, I gotta tell you this, I was like, this has to be good news. So I'm taking it as it's definitely like good news that you're receiving. So you just gotta know what it is. You gotta let me know. You gotta let me know what it is. But yeah, that's the interesting part of this week so far. Been working on schoolwork, have been working on the website also. It is coming along better. I still got a bunch of stuff to do within it. 8 in attendance is going for SMLC. Uh, let's see. Q. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. I had where is it? Okay. Got an email from Optimum Serve. They want me to attend the CMP exam for flat fee when I already did all my claims, including flat fee. If that's the case, I would just call and check with the VA. If you got that, basically saying that they want to check it, I would just call and see like, hey, was this sent out in like in error, or do I still need to do the CMP exam even though I did this? Because sometimes if they're doing a CMP exam, it's because whatever was done wasn't like fully completed. And that's sometimes they do that. Give me 1 second. Q HUD I got so I can show you this. I gotta fix this though. Okay, so that should be working. No, why is it doing that? Okay. So this is what it should look like. Q. Damn, I made some changes. What the hell did I do? Okay, there we go. So this is for SMCL. That's the older one. I'm thinking if I have to attend CMP exams for flat fee, while I will file those 3 conditions I did not claim. Called the VA. They said I need more evidence and they need me to do it. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what it is. If they're telling you that even though you went through that and you are putting that in, that they're asking for a CMP exam, they have to basically, they're trying to figure out more. So most of the times is whatever you might have claimed it or you went through that process, but there's not enough information in your files that shows that you have it. So they want you to go in and check on it. That's the thing. It's just like you might have had it documented, but the thing is if there's no documentation, there's no like a they sent you to orthopedics to get stuff or something like that isn't in your file. They tend to try to send you to that just to double check. It's basically them making sure that hey, yeah, you filed for this, you have flat feet. We need to confirm it and need to show and see that you have flat feet, kind of thing. Because it's a pain, but. What to do if a VA doc won't do AA, but previous VA doc did? Move from GA to Florida last year. When you mean AA, aid in attendance, okay, so what if the doc VA aid? So in cases like that, QHUT, you have to try to make sure that you can show that to that doctor. Because it's like, look, I was on aid in attendance in Georgia before. And it's a requirement that I still need. So I need to be able to get back on that. But this is basically like the breakdown of it. Has anatomical loss or loss of use, both feet or one hand, one foot, has blindness in both eyes, aid in attendance. The veteran's condition is serious enough that they require the regular help of another person, not necessarily every day or every time. Due to inability of claimant to dress or undress himself, to keep himself, herself ordinarily clean and presentable, due to frequent need of adjustment of any special prosthetic or orthopedic appliances, which by reason of the particular disability cannot be done without aid, due to inability of claimant to feed himself, due to inability to attend to the wants of nature, basically going to the bathroom and stuff like that, due to the incapacity, physical or mental, which requires care or assistance on a regular basis to protect the claimant from hazards or dangers incident to his or her daily environment. It is important to note that being hospitalized for your condition doesn't qualify under the term aid in attendance. Extra scheduler for aid in attendance may be awarded if the veteran does not have a single disability evaluated at 100%, and the disability is so severe as to demonstrate the need for AA. See, that's the thing, Q. If you already have these things and you're trying to just push for SMC, you have to fall into this. You can have 70% TBI, you can have 70% PTSD. If you don't fall under these requirements, you're not going to be able to obtain that. I was like, you can have, I understand you have these issues, but if they don't fall under this, if you don't fall under this criteria, aid in attendance does not work. So that's the issue here. It's just like you have all these other ones. You can maybe go because is it R or T? No, the T. But most of the time they never show what the fuck T is. Where is it at? See, these are coming soon, so they don't have it here. But I know for T, that's something that's there because for T, it's for if you have TBI. Let me see if I can find it. I gotta see if I can find it. Hold on, give me a sec. But that's the thing. It's just like you have disabilities. The way SMC works is that you have to have the disabilities that cause that fit the SMC criteria. So just because you've gone through and you have the TBI and all that stuff, you still have to fit it so that it falls under that. If you don't have it falling under that, you're not going to be able to do it. So because that's the thing, is just like you're going to go through the process and they're going to evaluate you off of the SMC criteria, not off of the criteria you have. Does it fall under, are you permanently bedridden? That's the thing, because aid in attendance can be done for most of these. See, because SMCR. But then it's, do you fall under those criteria? So that's what it becomes difficult for SMC, because SMC is just like you get evaluated, but they also see what you have and what you fall under. So you may be attempting to go to SMC L, but you might fall under T because of the fact that you have a traumatic brain injury, because the TBI is for T. So it's different. And that's something that you got to pay attention to. So the thing is you're trying to go for one. What you need to do is you need to go to a VSO, talk to a VSO and see what you fall under. Because you did already have aid in attendance. The thing is you move doctors and you don't have the aid in attendance anymore. So what you need to do is you need to get those records, which you can pull up the records. I was just doing this shit the other day too. If you go on the va.gov, you can go onto, it's called the blue button. If you go to the blue button on the va.gov site, you go to the health eVet, you can go through there, you can click on it and it will produce, you can request your medical files through the VA. So if you were being seen in the VA in Georgia already for aid in attendance and you were getting it for that while you were there and the factors have stayed the same, you can use that documentation to use it for this doctor and talk to this doctor like, hey, look, these are the issues I was going with. This is all the stuff I have. This is what I have. I had aid in attendance here because I was dealing with this. Now here's my documentation so that you can see it because I need to be on this again because I'm going through the issues or my issues have worsened. Because the thing is that Georgia VA doc and the Florida VA doc, they are not communicating. That's the one thing. There's no network. Like, it's the VA network, but these people don't talk to each other. That VA doctor is not going to go out of his way to talk to another VA doctor because now you're under his care. So he's going to determine how he wants to take care of you in a different way. So you could have been doing one thing with one doctor, go to another, and it's a completely different outcome. So that's also part of it. When you start seeing multiple doctors, it changes the outcome. So if you were in one state and you were being seen by one doctor, he had you under one thing, and that doctor might be one of those holistic ones that don't want you to go on pills or something. You might go to the one in Florida now, and the one in Florida is like, you know what? I'm pushing every pill I got on you. So it depends. But that's why I'm telling you, speak to a VSO. You need to get out and speak to him. Safety for self and constant falls and medication management for aid in attendance. That's the thing. So for medication attendance, I'm not sure if any one of those falls under one of these. Because I don't ever recall seeing one that is because of medication. See, because a veteran is permanently bedridden and unable to get out of bed for any reason. That's that one. You're like completely bedridden. But the constant falls and the medication management, it's different because the thing is are you still able to do things on your own? So yes, you are falling, which is unfortunate. You are falling, but what else is there? Because the thing is med management it's management. Your pills are being managed, yes, but that doesn't fall under stuff. So are you? Because I'm gonna put it. It's hard to tell them like, hey, I'm receiving pills and I don't know how to take them on my own. I was just like, are you unable to, or what is the med management? Because the thing is med management can be like, if somebody's making sure you take them, is it because you can't take them, or is it because you need somebody to assist you to take them? So that's the thing. Because the thing is if you are needing assistance to always be given the meds because you yourself cannot get up and get them, that's one thing. If it's like something that is like you're forgetting to take them, that doesn't fall under. It doesn't fall under that, I would say, because then what they're gonna say is, hey, maybe you should get like knowing the VA is gonna tell you should get an alarm clock or an alarm to tell you to take the pills or set it up on your phone or something like that. I know that's probably the first resource they're gonna try to tell you to do. So many meds and constant forgetting. And that's the thing. So that's something that I don't, that's why I say, Q, you need to go and talk to a VSO, because a VSO may have more information than what I know on this. SMC is not my go-to thing, but I haven't seen or heard of many veterans that deal with it on the fact that they cannot remember to take it. Now, is it that you have a mental issue that maybe the TBI is causing you to forget to take the medication, you might be able to use that in your favor in that case, where you're basically saying, hey, because of my TBI, I am forgetful and I forget what I'm doing, or forget to take my pills and stuff like that. That is something that you can possibly use, but you have to have that documented. That has to be in your record from your time in Georgia or your time in Florida. So that's something you need to make sure you're doing, so that way it's just like, okay, this is what you're dealing with. This is what happened. This is what's going on, and you have it documented. It's hard to get. It's basically like the same way with any other filing. If you don't have the documentation, a diagnosis, or something saying that that's what's causing it, the VA doesn't go for it. Basically, that's why it's always like a nexus letter, a buddy statement, and stuff like that. Even if you have to submit a witness statement from your wife that helps you do that, that's something you may need to do. But you also have to have that diagnosis that, hey, because of my TBI, I am forgetting to take my medication. And that is the reason why I need aid in attendance, because the TBI doesn't allow me to remember things and I'm forgetful or whatever the case may be. But that has to be documented and show that that's why it's causing it, for it to be like, yeah, you need this assistance. Because if it's just because you're saying, oh, I forget, I got the can't do SMCT. So I know you're trying to get to aid and attendance, but that's what I'm saying. You have to prove the aid and attendance. I was just like, yes, your wife is helping you, but you have to have that documented as to the reasons why. Because if it's just because of medication and certain falls here and there, they're going to take that as like, yeah, that's part of your disability. Now, is it that you are unable to function after? That's why special monthly compensation is different, because they're trying to ensure that it's just like, hey, you cannot do anything. Are you completely bedridden? Because SMLC falls under that also. See, because it basically says here, if you have a claim that is not yet 1 year old, SMCL is an inferred claim. Basically, they'll put it in there for you. If the VBA did not examine for SMCL, request consideration with a VBA form 214138. If older than 1 year, file a VBA 21526EZ for SMLC 3 and SMLC 1, include a VBA form 212680. Because that's the thing. Your best bet right now, Q, like I said, I don't have the ins and outs of your information, but if you go to a VSO and talk to them, they will be able to give you a better understanding, because they've probably seen this more. I haven't seen many instances where it's aid in attendance because of missing medication. Most of the time, missing medication is not something that the VA is going to go off of like, oh, this isn't something we're causing. Now, if it's something that one of your disabilities is causing, that's something you can use going forward. But if it's just that you have so many meds that you're forgetting, they're going to, like I said, the VA is not going to make it easy, but you have to show why it is. See, this is 70. Let me see. Because I can go to let's go to the CFR. Special monthly compensating ratings. So we'll just go over this, because maybe this might bring a bit more explanation into it. Special monthly compensation under is payable for each anatomical loss or loss of use of one hand, one foot, both buttocks, one or more creative organs, blindness of one eye, having only light perception, deafness of both ears, having absence of air and bone conduction, complete organic aphonia with constant inability to communicate by speech. Make sure y'all can see that. Hold on. What was I? Speech. speech, or in the case of a woman veteran, loss of 25% or more breast tissue, or following receipt of radiation treatment of breast tissue. This special compensation is payable in addition to the basic rate when authorized in conjunction with any of the provisions. When there is entitlement under that through or an intermediate rate, such additional allowance is payable for each anatomical loss or loss of use existing in addition to the requirements for the basic limitations on the maximum compensation payable under this paragraph are independent of and do not preclude payment of additional compensation for dependents under, basically saying that we're going to pay you this, but when it comes to the payments and anything else that it goes. But this is the breakdown. They got the creative organs, they got foot and hand, both buttocks, deafness, eye, aphonia, ratings under extremities, eye, need for aid and attendance. The criteria for determining that a veteran is so helpless as to be in need of regular aid and attendance are contained here. So we'll go to that one. So here goes the basic criteria for higher level aid and attendance. A veteran is entitled to the higher level aid and attendance in lieu of the regular aid. The veteran is entitled to compensation authorized. The veteran meets requirements for entitlement to the regular aid and attendance allowance. The veteran needs a higher level of care than is required to establish entitlement to the regular aid and attendance allowance. And in the absence of provisions, a veteran is entitled to higher level authorized. As a result, need for higher level of care shall be considered to be need for personal health care services provided on a daily basis in the veteran's home by a person who is licensed to provide such services or who provides such services under the regular supervision of a licensed healthcare professional. Personal healthcare services include, but are not limited to, such services as physical therapy, administration of injections, placement of indwelling catheters, and changing of sterile dressings, or like functions which require professional healthcare training or the regular supervision of a trained healthcare professional to perform. A licensed healthcare professional includes, but is not limited to, a doctor of medicine, registered nurse, a licensed practical nurse, or a physical therapist licensed to practice by the state. Person performing personal health care services who is a relative or other member of the veteran's household is not exempted from the requirement that he or she be a licensed healthcare professional or be providing such care under the regular supervision of a licensed healthcare professional. Provisions of this section are to be strictly construed. So basically, do you have, since you are saying that your wife is assisting you with doing this care, is she being supervised by another entity? Is there like a, hey Benny, no problem. Glad you're finding it useful. Appreciate that you're finding it useful. But that's what I'm saying. So it just basically off of reading this Q is just like, since your wife is assisting you, so she is being supervised by somebody else. So there is a medical professional that's telling her how it needs to be done and stuff like that. If that's the case, I don't know why you wouldn't have SMC. If you already have a medical professional that is supervising her while she also provides care for you. The thing is there's something missing here, and I'm not sure what it is. There's a link that's missing between the care you're receiving, the care your wife is providing, and the documentation. Because if you have that information and you have that documentation showing that you are being assisted and you already are receiving aid and attendance, it shouldn't be that difficult for you to file a claim to get it and then have them just speak to that medical professional that's providing you that service already. Because if they're already overseeing your wife and they're a medical professional and they're explaining and doing that, you should be able to get a nexus letter from that professional explaining that, yes, this is what I've told his wife needs to do. This is what has to happen and stuff like that in order for you to now file for SMC. And then they should be able to do the evaluation. They'll check, but now you have that medical provider to do it. That's also filing the 1 second. The DBQ, which falls under here, aid and attendance, which is this form. Hold on, I already have it, but I need to open it up. which is the examination for housebound status or permanent need for regular aid and attendance. Because it basically says the purpose of the examination is to record manifestations and findings pertinent to the question of whether the veteran claimant is housebound, confined to the home or immediate premises, or in need of the regular aid and attendance of another person. Please provide as much description as needed for each question, as this will assist VA to determine if the disease or injuries listed may lead to physical or mental impairment, loss of coordination, or enfeeblement that require assistance with daily living. Findings should be recorded to show whether the claimant is blind or bedridden, whether the claimant seeks housebound or aid attendance benefits. The report should reflect how well they ambulate. So what is it that you're waiting on then, Q? Because if the doctor already filled this out and you submitted it, are you saying that they denied you the SMC? Or because that's what I'm just like, if you have all that information, I have no reason. I have no idea what to tell you then. Because if they're denying you after you filled this out and you had the doctor fill it out and stuff like that, something's not adding up. Because you have the information and you have the doctor filling it out and have that, you should be able to submit that information, have it, and they should process it through. And you should be able to get this because you already have the aid and attendance. The thing is you're not getting paid at the SMC level, which, like I said, you have to still fall under the criteria of it. And that's the thing, like off of what we read on there is just like, depending on, do you fall under this? How bad is it being stated that you need assistance? How bad is it that you can't walk on your own? You can't dress on your own. You need to be fed. You got to be 100% in disability. Are you not? You said you were 40, 40, 40, 40, 20, and 30. You got to be 100% in one. I don't think that's how it works for SMC. So it's entitlement to the regular. Because that's the thing, there's different levels of it. So is it that you're trying to file for a specific SMC? Because you got the permanently housebound, in need of advanced levels of aid and attendance, anatomical loss extremities, anatomical loss of use. Because you're trying to do this one is what you're asking for, SMC level L. But this is what you need to fall under in order to fall under that. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like you filled it out. You're getting the aid and attendance from your wife, but what is the severity of it is kind of the thing. Because the thing is if this is the case, if they are saying that you need 100% in disability, you can try to do the TDIU route and get there. Because I need a damn calculator. Hold on. Hold on, because you gave me your numbers, right? Let me open another tab here. We'll go here, and we'll do it this way. We'll go via the numbers. These are the numbers you provided. So 70, you start at 70 with the TBI. Then you got another 70 for PTSD. Put you at 91. At 91, you got 40%. You should already be at 100%, Q. So that's why that makes no sense for me to for them to say that you need 100% in disability, because you said you got 70% off of one, which would put you at 70. Another 70% because of PTSD. So if you're at 70 and you go up 70%, that puts you at 91. So now you're here. So if you're at 91 and then you got another 40, that puts you at 95. And what was the other ones you said? You got each one 40 for each leg. So that puts you way over 100%. So that's what I'm saying is just like your best bet right now is to go and talk to a VSO. Because maybe I'm not understanding correctly, but off of what's going on, you basically are saying that you have 70%. You got two 70s, two 40s, a 20, and a 30. That puts you way over 100%. You're past 100%. So you are your P&T. But if they're saying that you got to be 100% in disability, that makes no sense because you're 100% P&T already. And then you already have those issues that are showing. So it's just like, that's why I say you have to go and reach out to a VSO to get a better explanation. Because I don't even know what to say anymore. Because basically off of everything you explained and everything we just read over and we looked over, you have it, you've done it, and then you're still getting denied. That has to go to a VSO or maybe look into a lawyer. But my first step is always go talk to a VSO because you have the 100%. You already have the 8 in attendance. So all it should be is you filing for that 8 in attendance, which is the form, the 2060. You have to be 100% in one disability. Look at. See. Because that's the part I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to find out where it is that it says that you have to be 100% in one disability. No, the thing is that you have to. It's not. The criteria is different for each one, so it's not like you just gonna start going up the levels. You have to figure out which one it is that you fall under. Because you're not. It's not gonna just. It's not like a stepping stone where it's just like, oh, I started off at this and then now I get moved up to this or I get moved up to that. You're going to get evaluated for it. So that's the thing. You're going to get evaluated for all of these regardless, depending on what it falls under, how this is filled out, like all this is filled out. What is the posture? Describe restrictions of each upper extremity. Like all this gets filled out and that's how they base it off of. And then they go into this, the CFR, and then they go off of this criteria. Because if you're already 100%, you already have it. The thing is that you believe and you already are in need of 8 in attendance. So it's just what 8 in attendance do you fall under? Is it restrictive to the point where you are always bedridden, which would mean you have to be completely bedridden, or is it something else? Because like I said, here it is. Veterans signed a higher level 8 in attendance allowance in lieu of the regular 8 in attendance allowance when all of the following conditions are met. As a result of service-connected residuals of traumatic brain injury, the veteran meets the requirements for entitlements to the regular 8 in attendance allowance in paragraph A. Received individual 40% rating for the left and right foot due to foot drop. They did not grant me SMC for loss of use, which is normal. I submitted and actionable and because it just basically says following condition. As a result of service connected residuals and traumatic brain injury, the veteran needs a higher level of care. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, Q. So if you messed up your shoulder because of a fall, that they don't see that as part of the issue. So that wasn't caused by it. Well, I can't say it wasn't. It was caused, but it was not something that. It's like, damn, I don't know how to put that shit into words. Trying to figure out like the best way to explain that. Because the thing is the injury you got because you fell. Was the fall because of one of the disabilities you have, is the way I guess the VA is looking at it. Yes, you fell. Yes, you messed up your rotator cuff. You may not be able to use your arm because you fell because of the rotator cuff, but was that something that was caused because of your other disabilities that you have? Because the thing is just like, hey, if you fell, they look at it as like, hey, you fell, you messed up your arm. That wasn't a VA issue, kind of. So that's what it is. If it was cause for it, you need to make sure to provide that. See, so Timothy, in the cases like that, you cannot miss the CMP examinations. That hurts veterans more than it helps. It was just like, you need to go, if you are scheduled for a CMP exam, unless you call them and tell them to cancel or reschedule it, you need to go to that CMP exam. Because the thing is the CMP exam is what they use for evidence. Because the thing is yes, you made these claims and all that stuff, but then they're going to go off of just, if you don't do the CMP and the actual doctor doesn't see what happened, you can't use your foot, stuff like that, then it becomes well, you said this in writing, we didn't actually visualize it and we're able to put it in writing ourselves. So that's one thing you got to pay attention to with the CMP exams. I know most people don't like them. Like, yes, you may have a bad examiner or whatever the case. You can ask for another examiner if it was a bad one and notate it and make a complaint. That is possible, but you still need to go to the CMP exam. The CMP exam is their way of making sure that what you are claiming, they can verify. Because the thing is you can claim, everybody can claim anything, but if you don't go and actually get seen by somebody in their offices or somebody that they contracted or whatever the case, they don't just go off of your word. So it's just like, you have to have that documented. Everything, it was just like, it's tedious. I know it's dumb, but it's the way the system works. And that's something that veterans need to realize. That's how the system works. You have to go get that CMP exam. The only way they don't, which most of the times they still do, regardless of whatever you claim, unless it's just like clear cut evidence that's in documents. So you got the imagery, you got the x-ray, you have all that, that's where it's different. That's what I'm saying, Q. You have over 100%. So that's why I'm not sure why it is that they're telling you that you need 100% in one. Because TBI alone is 70%. I was just like, I don't. Yeah, see, because that's the thing. So this is me just looking it up just pulling it up on Google real quick, because I'm not sure exactly where to find it right now here. But basically it does say it's dependent on what SMC you claiming. And that's what I was trying to say. For the one you're applying for, you need a 1 rating that's 100%. But if you look at the other SMCs, they don't require, all of them do not require for you to have 1 rating of 100%. Most of them do, but there are some that fall under it that changes it. Let me see. Qualification. So this is for what I see another site. This is from the Vet Law Office. So it's a veteran owned office basically. I've seen this guy on YouTube too. I've seen him on YouTube. He has a channel. And this is what he does. So let me send you to this resource because that's I'm all about helping veterans, but if I don't have the correct information and stuff like that. So for SMCS, you have to have one disability at 100, and then the combination of the other ones at 160. Yeah, like you said, the 160. But you have to have one at 100 for that one. SMCL, sufficient. My medical evidence is sufficient to make a decision. To fight this based on 38 CFR, general criteria for sufficiency of examination reports, and my medical evidence was sufficient to make a decision and grant me a... Oh. Timothy, all I say is, yes, fight it. Remember, you probably got that shit bag to do your claim. That's the easiest way of putting it. You might have just had that shit bag that just didn't look over stuff and just thought it was easier to just deny the stuff and do it that way. Q, that's what I said. I'm telling you, you need to go to a VSO. Reach out, call. I don't know where you're located, but I can tell you there's an American Legion or a BFW post or a Disabled American Veterans organization or somebody that's tied to it that you can use and talk to and do it that way. Because the thing is I'm not, look, I try to assist every veteran that comes in here to the best of my abilities. I don't know everything. There's too much information to know everything within the VA. I'm trying to point you in the right direction. I'm trying to show you what it says off of what I'm able to find through the CFR. But in your case, it's just like you need to go and talk to a VSO because off of what you're stating, you have all you need except for that 100% disability rating. But like I said, you have to look into the other ones to see if you fall under those either. A VSO is more well-versed in that information. So that's why I say it's best to look in that position of it and look at it that way. Because I don't know. I really don't know. Because the SMCs, that's a whole different thing. I've based a lot of my time on just the regular ratings. Just the regular part of the CFR, not the SMC. Let me see if I find anything here. I need to do a lot more research on SMC to be more well versed in it. Because the whole different criteria, each SMC is different. They all fall under most of the time the same stuff. But then, like I said, you may fall into a person that didn't do a good job on your claim. So you might need to do a higher level review, which could take months or whatever the case may be, or years, depending on what it is. But that's why I say the best thing is always go to a VSO, because a VSO is going to be able to provide you that information that you need to fill out so that you have a better percentage of getting it completed and done the right way the first time. Because if you're just going at it on your own, you just definitely just going to throw that out there. You definitely got to go to a VSO because they're going to be able to be there. You can present all this information you have, your 21 6, I forget what the form, 21 680, 21 2680. You have that. You have all the issues you have aid in attendance already from a previous doctor. So basically it's you providing that information. Like I said, request that documentation from your previous doctor, which your VSO or the VSO should be able to pull that up also. And it'll show that you had aid in attendance in your prior state. You moved to this state and they tried to change it, but you still need it in that state. That's all stuff that the VSO will be able to put it together and be like, okay, this is your best route, or this is the best SMC to go through. Because the thing is like you said, if you're going through S and you need 100% in one disability and you don't have it, that's already eliminating you. They're not going to change that unless you file for an increase in one of the ones you have, but you're already 100% P&T. So they look at it as you can't go any higher really. But when it comes to SMC, that's a different ballpark you're looking into. So that's why I say a VSO is always it. Look, Will said that himself. I was like, best thing you want to do is you always want to go and talk to a VSO. I was just like, you can come here, I can point you in the right direction, but my advice, since I am not an accredited agent, I am just somebody that is versed throughout the VA. I study stuff in the VA. I look through information. I look through the M21-1, but there is so much information when it comes to dealing with the VA that nobody is going to be perfectly sound on everything. A VSO, same thing. Not going to do the thing. But if you look at the regulation, at least there you can start seeing what it is you need, what fits into what, so that when you go to that VSO, you can tell them, well, hey, I looked at the M21-1 and I saw this part, and I looked at the CFR and I saw this, and this is what it says, and I fit under this, but I don't fit under that. Because then you're letting that VSO know, like, hey, I know my shit and I've looked into it, but I need you to help me get to the finish line. And that's the way people need to look at it. It was just like, yes, the VSO is not going to know everything. You need to educate yourself on making sure that you know what it is you're filing for, how it is you're going about it. But I need you with your expertise and your resources to get me to the finish line, is basically what the VSO is there for. A lot of people are putting too much emphasis on that. They don't know either. They're scared. Talking about poking the bear. I've been 100%. It was like, it's nothing about poking the bear. It was just like, that's why it's just like, I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's like everybody's scared about poking the bear and stuff like that. The only reason you scared of poking the bear was if you were lying to get where you got to. Plain and simple. There's no poking the bear if you have all these issues and they're notated and they're not getting any better. There's no poking the bear. A lot of the issue is that with this whole poking the bear statement, it's a lot of veterans that got their disability ratings off of made up issues. But that's the thing. It's just like, no, trust me. I understand that. The thing is just like a lot of them just don't want to do the work. And that's what sucks. A lot of them don't want to do the work, because the thing is when they work through those agencies, sometimes they don't get paid enough. That's why you have those damn claim sharks. That's why those claim sharks make that money they do, and they try to charge people ridiculous amounts for this stuff, because of reasons like that certain VSOs don't want to do the heavy lifting. They got, like, man, I got to go through this whole packet and do this, and that. And then I got all these people. Like, it's just laziness at times. But that's why it's just like, you have to make sure you're doing your due diligence so that they don't bullshit you and you can keep on them about it. Trust but verify. No, we've heard that one. I know we've all heard that one. Trust but verify. Trust that VSO to help you, but you need to verify that they know what they're doing or that they're doing it correctly. Trust and verify. Because that's the issue. A lot of us is just putting blind trust into somebody. Like, the person that's going to fight for you the hardest is yourself. That VSO, is getting paid regardless of you going or not. Whether you go to them or not, they're going to get paid. Because it's a salary job. They're going to get paid regardless. But if you on them, they're going to be like, damn, this dude knows his shit. Okay. I might have to do some work now. See what I'm saying? Like, it's just learning. That's why I like trying to educate veterans on what the information is and where to find it. Because once you have that information, you're better off knowing what's going on and what you're doing, so that way when you go to another entity, or if you go and ask for assistance and somebody tells you, oh, well, this happened, I was just like, oh, I already knew that. You can't really help me. I already know the stuff there. You see what I'm saying? Like here. If you know more than me, you know more than me. I'm not going to be mad at it. Just teach me, help me, so that I can help others also. And that's the thing we got to do. But it's hard because some VSOs, like I said, not all VSOs are great. Some of them actually love their job and they want to make sure that veterans are taken care of. Some just want to make sure they get a paycheck. And then some you just have these. I call them claim sharks, because the thing is they prey on veterans that go through these issues. Friend got to 90% and did not use a VSO. He just relied on medical evidence. Yeah, that's the thing, Chris. It's just like, if you have the documentation and you have the information, it makes it so much easier to do it. The thing is sometimes you just need the guidance in how to file it, or what to file, or what to make sure is in your claim. That's what it is. But if you learn, like I said, this is one of the best resources there. The Code of Federal Regulations. If you go through this thing, you will find what you need and how to claim it, what percentage you may get and stuff like that. But then it's also on you. Hey, do you have the documentation? Do you have the diagnosis? Do you have a nexus letter if needed? Do you have a buddy statement, your own personal statement, which most people don't even write their own statements. Most people don't even get a buddy statement. Those are two different pieces of document that can help paint a picture for a VA rater. Because the thing is just like I tell people, it was just like, look, if you file in one of these things and it's like, hey, it's like you are taking a piece of all this evidence and you need to be able to give it to a random person that's never seen you before, never spoken to you before, didn't even know you existed before they opened up your file, and they should be able to tell you what's wrong with you off of them opening your claim. If you can't do that with just a regular person, your claim is probably not strong enough. If you can't, without a doubt, hand your documents to a random person and be like, look, can you tell me what's wrong with me? And they can't open it up and be like, oh, I see this, I see that, I see this. I'm a work on that, Q. I'm a work on that, but I have to do a lot of homework myself to get educated on that. Because that's why for sometimes I make these videos and I do these Q&As because it's easier for me to help people because I can find the info on there. But when it comes to like specific topics that I'm not strong on, I haven't made any videos or stuff like that because I want to make sure that I am putting out the correct information off of what the regulation states, not off of what I saw on so-and-so's channel or this person's channel. No, I want to make sure that I can go into the Code of Federal Regulations. And then when I'm making these videos, it's like, look, this page on this part of chapter 4 or chapter 1 or chapter 3, whichever one of the chapters is in, or this part in the M21-1, which is what the VA raters use to evaluate and stuff. This is where I found this information. That's how I want to make my videos. Gene, good afternoon. That's how I want to make these videos. That's why you don't see me I haven't made a bunch of videos. I'm starting to do them. But that's for next year. Next year is going to be the year where you're going to see a lot more videos coming out from me and stuff like that. And the website will be up also. The website will be up, but as the website goes, the website is going to continue to grow as I get more information, make more videos. The website is going to have this. The same way the website already is putting in because the thing is it's tough. The criteria, like, look, this is the thing. Like I had, like, with the video I made, my 100% my disability rates video, which people have been watching. Funny thing, somebody was actually copied my video and posted it for themselves and got like 35,000 views on my video. Literally copied it exactly the same. Didn't even change the music. They just changed the thumbnail, used my exact same video and posted it. I just had to file with YouTube to get it removed. But with this, it's just like we have to find that information. SMC is talked about, but there's specific eligibility criteria for it. It's the same way with the CFR. You can file for disability claims. Everything is not going to get you 100%. There's that thought process, just like everything, the CFR, these people follow the CFR. They do get shit wrong, though. That's one thing people need to understand also. They get shit wrong a bunch of the time. Sometimes they're just being lazy. Sometimes they ain't doing it. But that's where it's just like we have to make sure to look at the resources, look at the information so that we're more aware of it. So that, let's say, hey, they said this. I was like, well, according to the regulation, it actually says this. So if the VSO tries to bullshit you because they're trying to be lazy, I would just like, hey, this is the information I got. And that's why I say the thing is that's why these claim companies and stuff like that, that's why they make money, because the only reason they make money is if you get an increase. So they're gonna work their asses off. Why? Because hey, if I help Q get to SMC whatever, I'm gonna get back pay from Q for however amount of time, and that's an easy check I just made. The VSO is not always. They're not getting paid by clients. They're getting paid a salary amount, and they're working in a nonprofit. So they're getting whatever they're getting paid, depending on the nonprofit. They're probably getting paid decent or whatnot. But people ain't gonna always go above and beyond, and that's what you gotta check. It was just like, look, I try to go above and beyond with the stuff I know. But when it comes to y'all asking me certain questions and certain things that I'm like, go talk to a VSO. I say go talk to a VSO, or hey, here's the reference. Here's the M21-1. Here's the 38 CFR. See if you can find it. And if you do, please come back on one of these lives. Because remember, I do these every Sunday. Today, I just popped up and it was just like, I got time. Let me just do one of these lives. But if it's just like that, I'm going to tell you, go talk to a VSO or go talk to somebody. Look, you got to remember, a lot of these claim agencies or companies and stuff like that, they offer free consultations. There's nothing that says you can't call them. Yes, the CFR, Chris, is just like a lot of people don't realize that how powerful this thing is to explain and let you know what you need to do. And that's what people don't understand. It's just like, this is the resource of resources, because this is how you get to 100%. I have a low blood pass, but I put a claim for a toxic exposure and the VA did send me to labs. So Barnes, if you put a claim for toxic exposure, I'm guessing you were in one of those areas where you fall under the PACT Act stuff. Because the thing is I'm not sure with the PACT Act, that one is just like you have certain exposures that are there. Let's see if I can find, because the thing is the PACT Act is that's one in itself. Because you fall under one of these: Vietnam, Gulf War post 9/11, toxic exposure screenings. The screening will ask you if you think you were exposed to any of these hazards while serving. And that's the part, the other exposure parts. Then they got this one: learn more about the welcome to the vet home, exposure team health outcomes. And then they have the different ones. So Agent Orange, airborne hazards, depleted uranium, Gulf, and stuff like that. So, but the thing is we also got to keep in mind, y'all, that with this PACT Act stuff, there's going to be more shit coming out. As more veterans keep on getting tested, as more veterans keep on getting evaluated, there's going to be more stuff that ends up becoming presumptive. The thing is it sucks we have to wait to find out. But it's all depending on how you filed, what you filed for, and does it fall under the criteria for for it. Because the thing is, the one thing I haven't the one thing that I find interesting is when is the CFR going to be updated to speak on these? Because everybody's talking about and concerned with the with like the changes to mental health, the changes to sleep apnea, the changes to tinnitus, which they still haven't solidified what is supposedly going to change. So that's why people need to stop worrying. And if you got ratings that you need to file, do the shit now. Don't wait for it to change. Do the shit now. But this has to be implemented into the CFRs, because there's no Agent Orange on the airborne hazards and burn pit registry. There's nothing there. There's certain things there, but you're going to have to start making it a specific thing, because radiation registry, what does that mean? Do I get a certain percentage for being exposed more than others or stuff like that? You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of changes that need to happen, and it's just like we're still up in the air about it. But anything like that, like Gene, you filing and you getting registered for it, that's why I say it needs to be done. Because that's why I have a problem with like when vets be like, oh, you're gonna be poking the bear. The poking the bear shit is like, look, this is my way of seeing it. You don't have to agree. Same time, I don't care if you agree or not. But this is the way I see it. If you are filing for anything after you've got it to 100%, or you're filing for anything at whatever percentage you are, it is something that you may die from. The reason I say that is just like, if it's something that you may die from down the line, it's best for you to go and get that annotated. Why? Because of the fact that if you have a family at the back end, if you died because of that issue, your family can now collect the DIC, the indemnity payments, and continue to make money after you pass. If you pass away and it was something that should have been service connected, but it wasn't, your family doesn't get anything. So that's why it's just like, yeah, people want to talk about poking the bear. It's like, no, if you can die from the issue and the VA or the military caused it, you best believe you need to go and file for it. This whole poking the bear nonsense is just like, look, if you don't have the disabilities or the claims that you are stating you have, then yeah, poking the bear might be a scary thought for you. But if you have injuries and you have documentation and you've been seen and everything is valid, yeah, it's kind of difficult to poke the bear when the bear's already there. It's hard. It's poking the bear when you have all these secondary claims. When you have a ton of secondary claims, like you have that first thing and then the secondary and a second to this and second to that, that's where you fall into the poking the bear problem. Because the thing is if your first claim starts getting better, then all of a sudden that means that everything else should be getting better. And that's where I see people don't like to poke the bear. But if it's for stuff that you already have and notified, it's just like, you're not poking anything. That's already established. I was just like, you're not going to lose ratings on, hey, you have degenerative disc disease. Your disc ain't going to grow back. Your cartilage between your disc is not growing back. It's just not. Unless you get a surgery or something like that. The cartilage between your disc and your back that they claim and they service connected you for degenerative disc disease means that your discs is not getting any better and they are going to get worse. So more chances are you might even file for an increase at the end of the day. I went to a VSO and showed him all my diseases and asked him if any of these diseases were presumptive. He said yes and filed 5 diseases for me. And that's all it is, Gene. And that's what it is. Because the thing is that list is going to expand. The more studies and the more stuff veterans are actually, administering and getting seen for and stuff like that. I was just like, oh, well, I came in to get seen for this, but I'm developing like this cancer or that cancer. And now you start seeing that there's a bunch of people that start developing that same cancer. Then it's like, oh shit, well, this is something that's also causing this. And it's probably because of this, because everybody else has it. That gets put on the list. And then you keep on adding. So now if you have any of these diseases or issues, you go get seen for it and you ain't paying out of pocket. But at the same time, now that you made that claim, if you passed away for one of these diseases, your family still gets payments. If you don't file for any of these diseases and you don't get it done, if you pass away from one of them, your family ends up shit out of luck. Which it sucks to say, but that's the reality of it. Is the DIC same amount of disability? No, Gene. It is a different, way different. Let's go to it real quick. Because it's DIC. So there you go. Let me see where because it is not the same. So let's say you're at 100% right now when it comes to your disability payment, which is it's going to be like what, basically $4,000 for next year. You don't get nowhere near that. So this is, look, DIC benefits. We'll go here. DIC benefits for surviving spouse and children. This is what it breaks down to. So there's different additions and stuff like that, but there's no $4,000. This is just off of the example that they have here. So basically, added amounts for surviving. So your monthly payment is of $1,653. So your family would get $1,653 per month. Now then there's these additional added ones. So if this description is true, veteran had a disability rating of totally disabling for at least the 8 full years leading up to their death, you get an extra $351. That's if you were 100% P&T and you had the 100% P&T for at least 8 years prior to you passing away because of the service-connected disability, then you get the 8-year provision. So basically, if you had it for 8 years, then you get the extra, your family, not you, your family gets the extra $351 a month. Now, you have a disability and need help with regular daily activities, stuff like that. That's if your spouse needs that. So if your spouse is older now and they need aid and attendance for stuff like that, then it's $409 added on top of it. You can't leave your house due to a disability. Housebound allowance, you get another $191, which I don't know how it's only $191, but I don't make these numbers. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you have one or more children who are under 18. So for the first 2 years, if they're under 18, you get it $350 a month. After that, it's $409 for each eligible child. So then it just gives the example here. So the person passed, they get the monthly rate of $1,600. Their first child is under 18, $409. Second child is $409. So you get $409. I don't know what this $350. Oh, okay. So basically you get an extra $350 the first 2 years after you've passed. They would get that. They would get the extra $350 for the first 2 years. Then after that, it's just $409.53. Then the 8-year provision, because you were there, you had it for 8 years, P&T, $351, 8 in attendance, $409. So basically that's what they're saying is just like total monthly payment after 2 years when transitional benefit ends is basically $3,200 a month. Mind you, you're making, if you're at 100% P&T, you're making $4,000. So they are still taking a hit towards it. But if you don't have that in your claim, they get zero. That's the part. Yes, Chris, and that's the other thing. That's a lot of states have that. Some states have it that you do continue the compensation. The property tax exemption continues to the spouse as long as the spouse does not remarry. And for some states, it specifies that it is able to be kept by the children also. I forget which states. There's like 3 of them that I saw that do that. That they added to the fact that it's just like, yes, the kid keeps that exemption. So if something happens to the mom, the kid keeps that exemption going forward. As long as I think it's like they don't sell the house or something like that, they still keep it. So those are things that are just like most people, they don't know. But like I said, everybody's like, oh, don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. Like, look, if you could die from any of these issues, any damn disability claim that you can possibly die from, you need to file it. Claim it. You ain't poking the bear if you already jacked up. And it's just like, we already jacked up, y'all. Some of us is just so jacked up. It's just like, you don't see it, but my body does. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, those are the things. Damn, I ain't got no water. Shit. Thirsty as hell. I want to drink a beer, but I don't like blue. But this will have to do for now. But that's what I'm saying. That's one of the things that people don't understand, and that's just payments. Those are just the payments that you would basically get. And you just have to keep in mind and make sure you're paying attention to them. Because once you have that and you have that established, it makes it so much easier to do. And you don't have to worry about it. You don't have that. You don't have that issue. And that's I think what people don't understand. If you have that issue and you're going through it, then it's more difficult for you, and it's not something you want to deal with. Basically, that's the best way of putting it. You don't want to go that maybe you end up going through something and something's wrong, and then you may become ill and you might pass, and it's something that you had the ability to claim, but you chose not to, and then on the back end, it's not you that's suffering because you're gonna pass. Everybody passes. But those that you left behind, are you taking care of them in the process or are you not? And then, like I said, some states do have it that way, property tax exemptions. And that's a big difference. If your family can continue to have that property tax exemption, no matter what the home is or where they live, that's a cost saving benefit at the back end, knowing that, hey, they're going to get part of their property tax back, even though you are not receiving the same benefit because you have passed. Because that's the thing, it's a big difference. It's like we could go to the rates. Where is it? No, let's just go to the disability rates. And these are for 2025 now. So let's see, 100% is going to, well, veteran alone. This is 2025, right? Yeah. So you're making 3,831 off of it. So that's what you're making. You're making 3,831. That's already $600 more than what the DIC payment does. This isn't even counting. That's just the veteran alone. If you have your spouse, you're at $4,044. Let's say you got 2 kids with spouse and 1 child. With 1 child and spouse, you're at 4,201. Then with that 4,201 with the other kid, you get 106. Once the kid is in a qualifying school over 18, you get 342. So it's like, it's a big difference when you go from receiving payments all the time to not receiving payments, but it's not a burden you want to leave on your family on the back end because you chose to not poke the bear. So that's all I got to say with that. I'm not a big fan. It bothers me when I hear people saying it that way because it's just like, did you lie to get to where you got to? Because that's easy for not wanting to poke the bear if you got to where you got to because you shouldn't have been there, or you got there because you lied about it. That's one thing. But if you're injured, it don't matter. Gene, you can file for anything and everything that is within the CFR. How do you spell? I hate spelling cirrhosis because I can never. Let me see. What would it fall under? If the claimant or eligible survivor benefit, what does this fall on? So Part C. what that is. Hey, where'd it go? Because I'm trying to find, but if it's under any unexplained stuff, you have to file for it. Always file for it. Don't think twice about it. File for it. If you got a question on it, you're not sure, file for it. Ask. Let me see if I can find. No, that's that. Where's the DBQs? Give me 1 second. Because maybe they have it under the DBQ. Da, 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 da. Liver conditions, possibly. Let me see. Cirrhosis of the liver. There you go, Gene. So it's under the DBQ. So if you're filing for any of this, make sure you put a DBQ and have your doctor fill this out. Because that's basically hepatitis, cirrhosis, and other liver conditions disability benefits questionnaire. Fill that out. He has the information and he processes that and he does that way. That way, it's a document that you also have that is being provided by your doctor, filled out by your doctor, which can put all the information in there. The thing is it going to be service connected? Entirely different story. But if you fall under the toxic exposure, it could be caused because of your toxic exposure. Because the thing is if there's no other thing, or just like, hey, but then that's also, you can look into looking for studies or something. Or just like, hey, does Agent Orange show to cause cirrhosis or stuff like that? That's where it's us as veterans got to do that homework. Because most of the time when it comes to those nexus letters do go a long way when you can provide a study or information as to, hey, this study shows that there is relation between having this and this causing that. So stuff like that is just, you can use. But this, give me once, I'll give you the link to it. Hold on, I gotta open up my Google Sheet. And by the way, this is all gonna be on the website. So the DBQs, I'm going to have them all available on the website. So when you want to look for stuff like that, you'll just be able to click on it, open it up, and it'll have a picture of it showing like this. So it'll say hepatitis and stuff, and you'll be able to click on it and use it. Give me 1 second. Y'all got to take this phone call. Well, y'all, you gotta love the military. Um, yeah. So apologies for that little break I had to take there. I'm dealing with an issue still with the military. Um, I've been out 2 years now. So I've been out of the military for 2 years now. When I exited the military, I left the military in August of 2022. So I had everything done. I cleared installation, cleared everything, got my documentation. Everything was stamped off. I'm good to go. I didn't own them. Fine. Come to find out that someone in my unit decided to process a random leave form that they found, I guess, laying around or something, 2 months after I had already ETS'd. So this form is basically stating that I owe the military and I owe DFAS $10,000. So I'm going through a congressional inquiry to find out what it is. I've spoken to the inspector general. They're fucking useless. It's just a system of people that don't want to actually assist you. They just want to cover their own asses and cover the people's asses in the military. Going through the congressional inquiry now is just trying to find out what methods I have of maybe getting this eliminated or reduced. And basically it's the same runaround where, oh, you got to talk to this office, that this office has to do this office has to do that. And the thing is neither one of these offices can actually produce any documentation that I actually have. I was in Germany for 4 years. I was stationed there for 4 years. In those 4 years, the unit and the battalion have no record of my documentation. So I was stationed in Germany for 4 years and my battalion S1 has no records, no documents at all of me there basically. But they processed a leave form that they didn't have the substantiating documents to corroborate that leave form and somehow submitted it to finance. Finance approved it and did it. Mind you, this was 2 months after I had ETS'd. So you went through, I cleared my installation, I cleared all my documentation, I cleared everything. And then 2 months after I was gone, you decided to process a leave form, which put me in the negatives. And now you're stating that I owe $10,000. And that's something I have to deal with and I'm still dealing with. And I know I am not the only person that has dealt with that and is dealing with that situation with there. I'm just trying to get I would say like closure somehow before I just make like a whole like couple of podcast episodes explaining everything, calling everybody out, mentioning names and everything. Cause it's just at the end of the day, I was just like, this is what I'm dealing with. So I know this story is something that other veterans are probably dealing with when it comes to overpayment or lack of payment or them trying to say you owe a debt for something that they erroneously did. Because if you process a leave form that you don't even find, how the hell did you process it in the first place? So, and then talking to IG's just covering their own asses and they say they found nothing wrong with anything that happened. So it's like, you mean to tell me that people circumvented regulations and circumvented the issues, but there's nothing wrong with it. And that's why we have a problem now with the military and recruitment, because there's no sense of accountability. The same way we have issues with the VA, where there's no accountability. So the lack of accountability on all sides of us dealing with the military just doesn't stretch out to the VA. It stretches out to people, even though they've been out of the military and are receiving debt letters saying that they owe money for something that is not correct. But then the process of getting those documents fixed or stuff like that, it's a lengthy process where if it was actually observed and looked at in the first place correctly, we wouldn't be here. Same thing, I guess you can relate to the VA. It's just like, hey, if that VA raider actually took the time to look at everything that was in my file, looked at it correctly and did it like that, I wouldn't have to be dealing with a higher level review or reviewing my information. Why? Because of the fact that they messed up. But I guess I'm on the hook for money I don't owe. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize for having to take that phone call. That was something I had to take. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. But um, we'll see what we do with that. Let's take it back to this because I'm probably just gonna end it through here. I lost my train of thought off after that phone call. Yeah, but we do these. Let's say we do the. Excuse me. Do this every Sunday. We do these. We will do pop-up streams. Now that school is over, I'll be done with school on Tuesday. Every Sunday we do these. We'll do little pop-up streams like this throughout the week. We'll try to see if we can set a certain schedule. Our website is being worked on, the Veteran Awareness Project website. It'll be veteranawarenessproject.com. That'll be available on January 1st. It'll have a bunch of resources. It'll have the VA forms. It'll have the DBQs. It'll have frequently asked questions, videos and answers from me answering specific questions and stuff like that. It'll just be like a resource. It'll have the podcast there. It'll have a donations page, a merchandise page. Merchandise I got to work on, but we'll get that there too. But that'll just be there as a resource for veterans. So all the information we'll have our workshops and we'll have our Q&As, and then we also will have our website that is basically going to be there to assist veterans and take care of that stuff. And that'll be up on January 1st is going to be up. It's not going to be fully, every page is not going to be fully operational, but the important things I'm trying to work on first before I push it out to everybody, but it will be there for people to use as a reference. If you need to find VA forms, it's going to be way easier to find VA forms on my thing because you'll just be able to scroll. It'll show you the picture of what it looks like, and it'll show you what it is. So it'll tell you the number, picture of it, and what the form actually is for so that you could do it that way. DBQs, same way. It's going to be basically what the topic is and the listing of it. The same way it is here. Oh, hold on. The same way it is here on this site, on the DBQ site, but it's going to be able to, you'll be able to download all those forms and off of my Google Drive. So that way there's no searching for VA forms. So when you have to go through here, you have to find a VA form. You actually need to know the keyword or the name or the number of the form to search for it. On the website, it's just going to be a listing of them as I keep on adding more and more because there's hundreds of forms. When I get more specified stuff, I'll show you. Brief little, hold on, let me show you a quick little rundown of the site. But this is what the site looks like. Hold on, what is it not? There you go. So this is what it is. You have contact us, the record brief, podcast, the resources. And as you can see, it'll have the VA forms, disability benefit questionnaires, the DBQs, frequently asked questions, what we're about, the Did You Know videos, which are the shorts that are on a playlist. The weekly workshops, that's what we have here. Those will all be in the same playlist for people to watch over. The newsletter is something we're also developing, and that'll be probably as a separate thing. That might be a paid thing we do. What are your questions? So the frequently asked questions, which will be there. Steps to success, keeping you informed. The disability pay rates, which is the video that we have up. I have to update that one. So that's the video we have up. Check it out if you don't know what the disability rates are for 2025. I did have somebody actually try to steal my content and copy it and paste it, literally copy and pasted it and post it at their own. I got that taken down, so that's there. Ready to understand your benefits, how you can support the channel, donations, affiliate links, YouTube merchandise, memberships and merchandise, our disclaimer, all that stuff. Connect to us, and yeah. So that's what we'll be doing, and that'll be a link and stuff that basically will help assist veterans just to get you the information a lot easier, where you may not have to do the deep digging. You'll still have to do your due diligence. That's the one thing that you need to make sure you're doing. As veterans, we still got to do the heavy lifting. You are your best resource. You're the one that's going to do the work. You're the one that's going to do it. But if I can guide you into what you need to do, what you need to learn, that's a benefit that I think will benefit a lot of veterans going forward. We're probably going to add the CFR broken down into sections so that way you can click on it and have that provided section as a link. As like, hey, this is for musculoskeletal. This is for stuff like that. As we continue going it's going to be more developed. It's basically a way of using the va.gov, but in a better way so that it's not you being overwhelmed with trying to find all this information. The information is going to be more readily available for you to just click on, obtain, instead of going through 4 or 5 different clicks to try to get something that should just be simple to get. But as always, I appreciate y'all. Be good to one another. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Love one another, and stay marvelous while doing it, y'all. I'm just Cruz. I'll be signing out. I will see y'all probably maybe sometime this weekend. We do a little pop-up stream or something. But definitely, if not, Sundays, 12 noon Central Time, stateside Central Time. And I will check y'all out then. Cruz signing out. Peace.